Welcome to the Personal Development Mastery Podcast. I'm Harv Eker and my mission is to inspire you to rise up, grow, stand out and take action towards the next level of your life. I interview leaders, influencers, entrepreneurs, authors, exceptional people who can and will inspire you to improve your life. Tune in for 2 episodes each week and make sure you subscribe to the podcast to get the episodes as soon as they are released. In today's show, it is my real pleasure and honor to speak with Michèl Keller. Michèl, you are an entrepreneur, international trainer, coach and mentor, an expert in communication, success and peak performance. You were once a financially struggling actor, which managed in a short time to become financially free, and you now teach thousands of students on how to achieve the same. You are one of the few trainers worldwide teaching Millionaire Mind Intensive, the 3-day outstanding event by Harv Eker. And your mission is to change 1 million lives in the next 10 years to become successful and financially free. Michèl, it is my absolute joy and privilege to be speaking with you today.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here and I'm happy to support you and share what I have learned so far in my years.
I'm very much looking forward to the conversation and your wisdom. Michèl, I would like to start with some elements of your story. So obviously that part about being a struggling financially actor and creating this change in your circumstances. Do you want to share some elements of this story and especially some mindset shifts that allowed that to happen?
Sure. Now let me give you then the environment.
Yeah.
It's 5 p.m. I'm rushing to pick my daughter from the kindergarten. And I'm angry, I'm exhausted, I'm late again. And I hate myself for that. Why? Because I told my daughter the last couple of weeks that I will be on time, and I'm late again. And I think to myself, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm struggling, I'm working hard, I'm working 12 to 16 hours a day. I know already when I pick her up, we will be together. And then after she's gone to bed, I will work again. So I'm thinking to myself, how can that be? Why is that so? What have I done to put myself into that position? And probably some of your listeners will be asking themselves the same questions. Why am I in that rat race? Why am I? And some of you have reached the point already, enough is enough. And that was the moment many years ago where I said, enough is enough. I don't want to keep on with this rat race. And so I decided to look out of the box. Are there people who are in the same situation? And are there people who are not in the same situation? Mm-hmm. And I found them. So I found them in books. I found them in trainings. I went to trainings. I got mentors. I got coaches. And that lifted my belief system to another level. Mm-hmm. And that was the main reason why I realized that change is possible, because after that, because of immersing myself with new ideas, with new environments that gave me the tools and the mindset to lift myself out of what I've put myself in before. Because I was the reason why I was in that rat race. And I was the reason why I put myself out of that. So today I can look into the future bright. My future is bright. Why? Because I have the freedom of choice. Have the freedom of choice, the choice to decide what I want to do, when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it, if I want to do it even, and why I'm telling this story, because it's not a story, it's my reality. And this stress was many, many years ago. And I encountered this stress with so many people around the world I'm working with and I'm talking to. And their future is dark because they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They don't see the sun. They hope for the sun. They hope for the light. But they don't have the tool and the environment yet. And that's an important word, yet. Yes. To understand that there is something else. They see it with others, but they don't see it yet for themselves. So when you were asking me about my story, yes, I started out as an actor because I loved acting, and I started out acting very early in my childhood, actually 12, and then kind of professionally started with 16, 17, and then I started studying it. That was wonderful. It was great, but I always wanted more. I was curious. I am a very curious person. And that's why I started with entrepreneurship, with businesses, etc. And that opened my perspective, which is wonderful. And that's how I also started to helping others, coaching and training. And that was a step-by-step process, acquiring a lot of knowledge and certificates and so on. So because after every new method I hopefully mastered, I went for the next one. Let's say that way. I have mastered almost nothing, because there is always another level. Right? So I would not say I'm a master of something. I am a very curious, interested person in wanting to know more.
Michèl, there are times, now you just mentioned about not mastering things. There are times that I think whether the title of my podcast, Personal Development Mastery, was a good idea, or I have set myself up for something that maybe it's unachievable. But I like what you told me about being a curious person. I think that's important. It's that hunger to do more or to become more. I want to ask, based on what you just told me now. You said that many people see the freedom of choice or the success in others, but they don't see it in themselves yet. So let's say we're talking now to one of them, and the listener doesn't see himself or herself being able to break out of the rat race and achieve a different level of life. What's your advice, or what's the first step for someone to start instilling this belief in the possibility?
Yeah, believe in the possibility. There are two things you were saying right now. Believe and possibility. Okay. Is it possible? So the question is it possible? Is it possible that I do something? So how would I know that it is possible? It's possible if others have achieved it. Then it's possible. So basically, what other humans have achieved, it is possible for me, because hopefully I'm a human as well, right? And if this is the case, I can be able to achieve it. Belief is important. If I do not believe, why would others believe then in me? If I don't believe in myself, why would they believe in me. So the question is, how do I build belief?
Mm-hmm.
And the belief is, let's start. Let's start at the beginning. How does a little child with 2 years start walking? Does she or he believes it? Or does he or she sees and watches others doing so? And I remember the time when my daughter was doing that. And my wife, her mother, and me, we were sitting across from each other, and our daughter was walking and crawling in between us. And every time she was doing that, we cheered her up and said, yes, great. And she fell down, and then she stood up again, and we cheered her up. And she was smiling and she was happy, although she was falling down. And that hurt. Sometimes she fell flat on her face and almost started to cry. But because we gave her a supportive environment, she realized, oh, something what I've never ever done before in my life. Of course, after 2 years, she's never done that before. I can do that because I'm in an environment where the others whom I see walking and doing the things are doing that. So I could do that as well. So is this a belief, or is this just modeling? I think it's a combination of both. If I model something of others, then I can start believing. And there is another technique, is if I can envision something, if I can say it even. If I cannot say it, it won't happen. Mm-hmm. If I can see it, it will happen also. So I need the wording, the right wording, and I need the right vision in combination to make it happen. And then there is also something else, the higher power, or however, whatever people are wording that, mm-hmm. naming it. There's something else, spirit, you call it, which is definitely supportive. And if all those things come together, then we can start building trust because of the actions we have done. I hope that makes sense.
It certainly does. And
but you know what? There is, of course, we're talking about belief, and we're talking about what is achievable. If we talk about self-development, mm-hmm. or business development, doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. We have to understand where we are. And should we shift into talking about where we are in our world today?
Absolutely. Yeah? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I put out some numbers. Let me see the numbers here to share that. So I just was checking for our conversation here to have the current numbers. And according to the World Bank, so before we go into that, before we go somewhere, we have to understand where we are, right? So if we're looking into 2021, after coming to the end of 2020, time we're talking here right now, we're in a crisis. We are in the biggest change the world has encountered so far, ever. Perhaps not. The dinosaurs had also some issues, let's say that way, when they were killed. But in the last 1,000 years, I think this is one of the greatest challenges we're in here right now, mm-hmm. in this global pandemic, and especially economic-wise.
Yes.
So according to the World Bank, the economy, the global economy, will shrink by 5.2% this year, which is 2020. And this is then one of the deepest recession since the Second World War. So you are in the UK. UK will be very likely, the economy will be going down 9.7%. Then the US 3.5%, Germany 4.2%. So globally, all the countries, their economy will go down. What cause will that have? The unemployment is rising, will rise. And why is that so? Because as we look around, there's lockdowns, shops are closed, the people are not buying, the shops will have to close. It's estimated that around 1/3 of the small business owners will not open again. 1/3, which is huge in the next couple of weeks. It's happening already. It's happening. It's just not that public out. Mm-hmm. But if we look around, the shops are closing. I mean, the restaurants are down. The industries are going down.
Yeah.
And but so what are the governments doing? The governments are spending trillions of dollars. They're spending. It's just now the EU said that 1.8 trillion euros for the next 7 years. It's estimated that around $20 trillion are being spent all around the world. 20 trillion. This is a huge amount of money and number which has never ever been put into the market. And so what's the cause? What's the effect of that? The effect of that is that there is so much money supply in the market. And let's think about what happens if there is a lot of gasoline, petrol in the market. Will the prices go up or will they go down? They go down, right? Yeah. So that's cheaper. That's better for the consumer, yes, but not for the seller. Mm-hmm. And these. So are we in an inflation or in a deflation? We are in an inflation, but very likely we're going into a deflation as well. And both of those scenarios are not good for none of us. Mm-hmm. And the experts don't really know which will happen first or which is the greater effect or the worse effect. But what we know is that the biggest crisis we had so far, one of the last crises, was in 2008. And let me see the numbers. The economic stimulus responses in 2008 were, for example, in Germany, was 3.5% of the GDP. Today, it's 33%. Mm-hmm. In Japan, it was 2.2. Now it's 21%, and so on and so on. So there is so much more here in the market. And you know what? Nobody knows what effects this will have, because this is really unprecedented. So why I'm saying that? I'm saying that not to scare anybody, but as being trained as a psychologist also, if we don't face our fears, if we don't face the reality, we make up our own reality. And then we get stressed because there is a difference between my imagination and the reality. And if I believe that I will go out and it's summer out there and I go with my bathing suit out of my house and I'm surprised that there's snow around me because it's winter time, then my body will react stressed. And that's what happens to hundreds of people and thousands of people, thousands of people. And I'm saying that because I've been talking to hundreds of business owners this year, and I see three different reactions of the business owners there. And
please describe those three categories. I think it's useful for people to identify where they are, and I would like you afterwards to, if you can give us an overview of what behaviors or strategies one can take to ride this, because the market is what it is, and obviously we have to adapt.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we might go down with it, like the numbers you were saying.
Yeah. And you know what? It is very likely that we're going down. And I can tell you right now, I'm not scared in the way that it gives us an opportunity, because what we're facing here right now, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. We see that in numbers every 100 years. We see that in big economies. None of the currencies we have known so far have existed forever. None of them. They all went down. All of the currencies, 2,000 currencies we know so far in the last 5,000 years. And usually it's between 40 to 100 years. There are different numbers we have here. So the dollar is something like around 100 years old. Okay, so when will it go down? Now, let's take that, what I have learned with talking to hundreds of business owners this year, which is there are three ways to encounter the situation. One is when I talk to people very often there, it's uncertainty, it's fear, it's not knowing how the future is going to happen. And that causes that people, entrepreneurs, as well as employees, people are getting stuck, are in a stuck state. And because of that, they're afraid to move. And because they're afraid to move, they're not doing anything. There's basically, some have even stopped doing the things. They just are kind of surviving in a survival mode.
Yes.
And that shows in their numbers. And some are out of business already. They are out of business. And that's what I just said. A third of the small companies are gone already. The second group of entrepreneurs are like thinking, okay, this is a new normal, what we're in, but that basically means that we will go back to the old normal. Everything will be okay. So basically, I'm just doing what I'm doing, and I'm fine with what I'm doing, because what was working in the past will be okay for the future as well. So they are kind of surviving. Yeah. And it's okay. Kind of. They are not excuse me. They are not growing, but they are not going down under also yet. And because basically they're also fearing the fear, fearing the uncertainty. So kind of what they have been doing is okay. It's kind of still working. But as we know, the world is still turning. And the things are going faster and turning faster than ever. We just need to think about what we're doing here right now. We're on Zoom, and on Zoom was, I think the number was something like 20 to 80 million people were using it in 2019. Mm-hmm. And then it rose up to 200 million per day in March. Mm-hmm. Okay. So things are changing rapidly. Rapidly. And then there's a third group of people, entrepreneurs, and they understand that what I've just described, that the environment has changed. And if I'm not changing, others will change me. If I'm not moving, others will move me and move me away. So I better be riding the wave. And they are thriving. I've been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs. They are thriving. They're adapting the ways they're making businesses. And some of them really turning it around 180%. Totally different what they have done before. And we all encountered this. I encountered this as well. And this is exciting. I think this is one of the most exciting times we're in, if we use it. And so what can we do? That's the question. Everybody has got emotions. Everybody is talking to the others. Do I need the mask? Should I not use it? When is the vaccine coming? Will there be a lockdown? When will it be open? All those questions which are going on and on and on. These are little voices we're talking about. And sometimes they're screaming. So what can we do? There are 3 things or 4 things actually we can do. And I call this the triple A method. Triple A. And triple A is not the American Automobile Association. But if we think about that, what do you do when your car is broken down? You call a company to help you.
Yes.
Right? So, do you want this to happen with yourself and with your business, that you're relying on somebody else helping you in that situation? I mean, we all want this in a certain way, but I don't want to be put into the position which I need that. So what can we do that before? Three A's are here important. And let's imagine this is a pyramid. It looks like a pyramid, and it's a triangular pyramid. So we're talking about the base now. And these 3 things I'm talking about in a moment are the base. This is the basement. The first step is we need to get an awareness. We need to get a clear understanding where you are today. Understand where you are today. And that's why I was talking about before where we are in the world economy. Where are you today in your finances, in your personal environment, in your health, wealth, health, mindset? Where are you? Where are you? Now, why wealth? Why wealth? Money, people say money is not everything. But you know what? Without money, everything is nothing. Right? Right? So the things you don't have create problems. They create anxiety, they create stress, psychological and physical issues. And we see that. And that's why, just by the way, the suicide rate has skyrocketed these months, which is terrible. They don't have tools, and they're not not an environment to help them in that situation. So the awareness is so important. Just imagine you are ready. You're ready and pumped to run a race, 100-meter race. Okay, Agi, you're here. You're on the starting line. You're bending down. You hear the signal, and it says, "On your marks." And you are about to go full speed. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Yes. And you look up, and your target is gone. It has disappeared. And that's what people do. They start running without a clear goal in mind. just for the sake of moving, for the sake of showing others that they are moving. And that's a group of people which they stay the same. This is the second group of people I was talking about. They don't want to move. They don't want to really change because the things have been working so far. Mm-hmm. They are moving, but they're not. Are they moving in the right direction? No, because they lost their goal, or they never knew which their goal is. And I talk to a lot of people, and if I talk to people on the street, for example, if I ask them, so what's your goal for next year? What goal? I don't have a goal. Why? I want to live. That's what it is, right here, right now. And that's why they're exhausted. And that's why they say, maybe this is just not for me. Maybe I should settle for what I have. But you know what, Agi? Without a clear target, you will never hit your mark. You will not. So the better you understand where you are, the easier it is to set a goal. So what is needed? It is needed that you understand where you want to be in 3 months, in 6 months, in 12 months. And now it's a wonderful time. And when you're listening this now, it's the beginning of the year 2021. Make a clear plan. Where do you want to be in 3 months? Where do you want to be in 6 months? Write it down. Don't keep it in your head. You need to write it down. That's the first step. The second step, everything what I'm saying is not what I have invented. Everybody knows that. But if we're not implementing this, things will not happen. The second step is so you know where you are, which is wonderful, and you know where you want to be, then everything is crystal clear, right? Are you able to reach your goals? I don't know. What do you need? You need tools. You need an environment. You need a mindset to reach that goal. Mm-hmm. And for example, another example, I want to go to Paris. Yeah. Have you been to Paris, Agi?
Yes, I have. Yes.
A beautiful city, right?
A beautiful city indeed. Yeah.
It's a beautiful city. So if you are right now in Paris, lucky you. So I want to go to Paris right now. I'm here in Berlin, and I know my goal is Paris. Now, am I able to doing that? Do I have the resources, like a car, like money, like mindset? Let's say I have a car, okay, but I don't have a driver's license. Will I reach my goal? No. Let's say I have a car. Let's say I have money. I'm sorry. Let's say I have money, but I don't have a car. Will I reach my goal? No. Or let's say I have money and a car, but I'm deadly scared to drive. Will I reach my goal? And I'm saying this, mentioning this example because that's the reality. This is not a fantasy. This is what I encounter again with talking with people is, oh yes, I'm a business owner. I know where I am. I know my numbers. I know the next numbers I want to reach. But then I'm basically afraid of moving forward. Underlying, they don't really know that, but they're doing things which harm them in reaching their goals. And when we work together, we open this up and we understand what is causing me not to do the things I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Okay. Do the things you're supposed to be doing, whether you like it or not. And I've been working with a great trainer myself, and Mac Newton, and that's what I've learned from him. Do the things you're supposed to be doing, whether you like it or not. That's the thing. We all want to live. Most people want to sit on their couch and watch TV or whatever and not doing anything. But what happens to our body? What happens to our mind if we keep on doing that? Our mind and our muscles are not growing. So everything what is not growing is dying.
Absolutely.
That's what we learn in our nature, right? So what is now the second step is the ability. You need to understand which tools, what environment, and what mindset you need to have in order to reach your goals. The ability. Do I have the ability? Which is a kind of awareness also. So if I don't have the ability, where will I get it? And I come back to my story at the beginning, where I was sitting there in my car, being angry and knowing that this is not the place I want to be in. I don't want to be in that rat race. I don't want to make the mistakes again and again and again. But I didn't have the ability to get out of this. I had the urge. I had the motivation. And that's where stress comes in. People want to be somewhere else where they are not now, but they don't have the tools. And they don't have the mindset. And they don't have the environment, the supportive environment in order to do that. So that's why you need tools, you need an environment, and you need the mindset to reach that. This is the triangle, which is so important. And then the next step is, so now you know where you are, you know where you want to be. In our example, Paris, okay, you got the car, you got the driver's license, and you're even not scared to drive. So you open the car, you sit in the car, and you start the engine. Yeah. You just start the engine. Will you reach your goal? No. Because this is not enough. You need to push. You need to do something. You need to start acting. You need to start driving. And what a lot of people are doing is they start and they stop. They start and they stop. Stop and go. Stop and go. Stop and go. Because more things are becoming more interesting. Why not going to London? Right? London, beautiful. Or Rio or New York, which is the shiny object syndrome. So what is needed here? Even if I have everything in place, even if I have the mindset, the skills, and the environment, I need to act now. And I need to plan this action and follow the metrics, especially if we're in a business environment, the metrics and the steps so that you reach your goal, and you do need to do that consistently. Consistently is the important thing. And now we have the three things, okay? We have the awareness, we have the ability, and we have the action, which is the basement of this pyramid. But there is a top. There is a top on the pyramid, right? And this is the result of you building the foundation. The top of the pyramid is the result of your foundation. Awareness plus ability plus action equals, okay, I will say that in a moment. I will give you, just close your eyes for a moment when you're listening this here now, and let's imagine you're walking in the dark outside. It's pitch black. Can you see anything? Barely. You keep tripping over the things you can't see. And then you open your flashlight. You got a flashlight in your hand and you open it. What do you see now? You see a clear path in front of you, and everything is getting crystal clear. You see everything very clearly. And you see the path where your light shines on. Not left, not right, just there.
Yeah.
This is what gives us the possibility to reach our goals. If we have a clear path, because you're not looking somewhere else. You don't get distracted. And that's so much easier, and you get relaxed, and you know that your goal is right in front of you. You are focusing on the future. And you know what, Agi? There's a second thing happening when you're walking in this pitch black dark, which is our future. We don't know anything about that. Others see you.
Mm-hmm.
Will they see you when you don't have a flashlight? No, they won't see you, right? They won't see you. But if you have a clear imagination, if you have a clear mission, if you have a clear goal, if you have a clear why,
mm-hmm.
then others will see you. And once they see you, the opportunities are in front of you. And then, Agi, you become the attraction. You become the magnet of attraction. But you must lay the foundation to become the attraction. So the foundation is the awareness, is the ability, is the action, and then we reach the attraction. And it's very easy. It's easy to remember, and that's why I created this. And once we follow this, we will become the light. We become aware. We check our ability. We take action so that we attract others, and then that's the way we can thrive in this market situation. Because it is a constant circle, it's a constant movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're not being stuck on one point in our lives. We're staying active, and we're staying open for the new. Does that make sense?
It does, and I wanted to thank you for these stories. This way that you described it was I think it's very easy for anyone to follow with the analogies that you shared, and it's I like the pyramid and the attraction at the top, and it is something certainly that everyone must realize, that whatever we want to achieve and get in our life, it's at the end it's up to us, up to the foundation, to have that way of understanding and mindset, and more than anything to keep on taking the action. Michèl, do you want to tell us about the summit, the Wealth Health Mindset Summit that you're holding in a few days? I think it's relevant to what you were saying as well.
Thank you very much. Yes, so what I've been sharing now with you is the foundation of why I set up and host a Wealth Health Mindset Summit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly, I don't have to talk much about that, because if you understand the pyramid, the result is a Wealth Health Mindset Summit. If you want to understand how to thrive in 2021 in this strange market situation, then get information, learn from others who have been there, who have changed their business models and methods in the last year, in 2020, and apply those new learnings into your reality. And as a business owner, and when I work with business owners and when I go into companies, then they're looking into numbers. Wonderful. But then what happens so often is that they know their numbers, they know their goal, But what they are forgetting is who is pushing the numbers, the people, the mindset, the environment. So how can we change the mindset and how can we change the environment in order to reach those numbers we want to achieve? Mm-hmm. And that's why I'll give you a short story. I've just listened and been able to listen to Sylvester Stallone, where he was being asked. And, Sylvester Stallone says you must plan your consistent behavior every day, mm-hmm. constantly pushing forward. He achieved something what is amazing because nobody liked him. For 18 months, he was going out to agents, asking them to get a job when he was 21. Nobody liked him, 18 months. And then he realized, okay, if they don't want me because of my face, because the way I'm behaving, then I need to make them want me. So he started out writing scripts. And we know the story. It is, right? It is Rambo, which he... Rocky. I'm sorry, Rocky. The first, thank you very much. Rocky. And he wrote this film in 3 days. 3 days, okay? And this is the second highest grossing movie ever. I think the production cost was $800,000 and more than 900 millions they have made out of that. Why I'm saying that is because he never stopped. And he immersed himself into an environment. And that's what he says. You have to put yourself in a complete immersion mm-hmm. in order to reach that. And that's why I created the Wealth Health Mindset Summit, where you can learn from great trainers around the world. For example, which is my mentor since many, many years, Blair Singer. Blair Singer is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Advisor. Mm-hmm. Well-known. He is a best-selling author, an amazing person. Then there is Barry Mitchell. Barry Mitchell, he's a world-renowned sales and business trainer. He has trained thousands of businesses, from small business, from startups to $100 million organization. And this is for business side. Then we have wealth. Then we have health side. It's Dr. Nicole Srednitsky. She's, for example, the doctor of Robert Kiyosaki and so on. And she graduated from Georgetown University, magna cum laude. And she will be talking about how you can prolong your life by 10 to 15 years. Would you be interested to know how you can do that?
Sounds interesting.
Sounds interesting, right? So she's very much into that and how to support that. Then there is Mac Attram, an amazing person. He's an international bestseller, an author, and a wonderful business coach, world-renowned business coach. He's talking about wealth. Then there is Justin Teo. He's one of the world's premier branding and video marketing experts. So he will be talking about how you can position yourself today in this market environment and what steps are needed. And then there's Jack Wan from Singapore, and he's also best-selling author and entrepreneur, and he will be talking about why they buy. So if you sell products, if you sell services, you need to understand why your customers buy. And if you understand why they buy, then you can give them what they want. That's very easy. And then it's not selling anymore, then it's offering. And a lot of people are scared to sell. And once you understand that you have got an amazing mission, an amazing product, amazing services, if you're not going out there and sharing what you have, nobody will buy. And the way we have to communicate today in this environment is different than just 6 or 12 months ago. And that Blair Singer will be talking about that. I will be talking about that. And that we have more and more other trainers there to be coming in. So this is on January the 4th, January the 9th and the 10th. And you go to Business Skills for Entrepreneurs /Summit, Business Skills for Entrepreneurs /Summit. And then I will be very happy if you be there and learn and discover what is possible. So why did I put this up there at the beginning of January? Why? Because we have gone through 2020. That's the main reason. It's a big change.
Yes.
It's as I said at the beginning of our conversation, we are in a transition, and there will be winners and there will be losers. And the question I'm asking you is, you want to be a winner? Would you like to say at the end of 2020 in December, I have done the right steps. I am content. I'm happy. I'm super excited what I have done because I've done the right steps? Or are you saying, it was difficult, it was tough, I'm barely surviving? Mm-hmm. That's the question you have to ask yourself. And if you want to be one who wants to succeed and who wants to fly above the problems, then you must understand what is happening today. You must understand about, for example, what is the new technologies, blockchain technologies, and how that changes, how the environment, the financial environment, is affecting my personal business and what I can do, what steps I need to do. And you plan the future today. So I invite you to come to our Wealth, Health, Mindset Summit. You find that at Business Skills for Entrepreneurs /Summit, and immerse yourself in learning and understanding, and then take the right actions. And that's exactly what I did when I was sitting there in the car and saying, how can I change my daughter's life? It's my purpose. How can I change that? What can I do the best for her? Because if I'm a stressed father, she will not get everything I have for her. And she might get stressed also.
Yeah.
So what can I do today for my family, for my environment, for my generations to come, so that they thrive? That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Thank you. And I like that you linked back to the beginning of the conversation with you being in the car waiting for your daughter. Actually, the other way, your daughter would be waiting for you. I will put the link of the summit in the show notes. Michèl, I wanted to ask a few quick fire questions as well to start wrapping things up. It's been a tremendously intriguing and useful conversation. So thank you for that. Tell me, what does the term personal development mean to you?
Changing my life very easily. If I wouldn't have went on the journey of personal development, I couldn't be standing here talking to thousands of people, helping hundreds of thousands of people all around the world. And this makes my life wonderful because I know it has an effect to other people. But it started with me. Either I put myself in, as I said, I'm the one who put myself into pain, and I'm the one who put myself out of pain and into pleasure. So the more I know, the more I can do.
Sure, thank you. And if you could go back in time and meet your 18-year-old self, and you could give him one piece of advice, what would you tell him?
Yeah. On one hand, I would say, hey, Michèl, keep that curiosity that everything is possible, because that's what you have with 18. The world is in front of you. Everything is impossible. Second, listen to your voice. What is your calling? Why are you here on earth? And keep pursuing that. And thirdly, model and learn from others. Take yourself a coach. Do that earlier than your older one has done it. If you had done that earlier, do that, learn from your father, learn from him, do that earlier, because that makes your life easier. Even, and some of people are struggling with that. Yeah, but it costs money. Yeah, but what's the cost of not having it? What's the cost of not going to the summit? What's the cost of not going to the next training? How much will you suffer? How much money will you lose? How much health will it cost? That's the question. So, yeah, I think these three advices I would say.
Sure. And just one more. Again, hypothetically, if you could wave a magic wand and change something in the world today, as it is today, what would you change? I'm very curious now with this. Me
too. A magic wand. Based on what I've been saying, is being open yourself for the change. So meaning that understand that life is change, and help others in doing so as well. Because if I don't love myself, how can I love others? If I don't change, keep changing constantly, how can I change others if I want to? Right? So I think the question is actually, I would say, even kind of wrong. Sorry, Agi.
It's okay.
That if we are waiting for others to give me a solution, then I make myself dependent on the other person. So it's like, give me the magic wand and everything will be good. Yeah, in fantasy that works. And if we envision this might support each other, support us, yes. But who is doing the action? Me. I have to do that. And so therefore, empower. What's the magic wand? Empower yourself to be open for the new.
Beautifully said. Michèl, I want to thank you very much for our conversation today. It has been of tremendous value, so I want to thank you and wish you all the very best with your ongoing mission of empowering people. Any last parting words from you?
Yes, thank you very much. So thank you, Agi. I want to congratulate you for your success. You started out with the podcast from zero. You had a vision, you had a mission, you had an idea, and people are joining your idea. And you're a perfect example of what is possible, starting with nothing and reaching more and more and more. Why? And you were doing that. You opened your flashlight and people seeing you. And that's what I want to congratulate you, and what your listeners and your community can learn from you, that by opening your flashlight, your mission, your reason why you're doing what you're doing, others will connect with you. And then suddenly you are not the lucky guy, what others are saying very often. No, you are the reason why others want to connect with you. because there are like-minded people out there. There are wonderful people out there who want to be with you. And that's why I want to say thank you, Agi, for giving me the opportunity and the possibility here to talk to your community, talk to you. It was a pleasure talking to you. And I would be very happy if you, Agi, come to our Wealth Health Mindset Summit and spread this message. That would mean a lot to me, even if you cannot join on the 9th and the 10th. Tell others about that. I think it's so important. I just want to finish with that. I think I didn't say that before. The reason, or perhaps I said it, the reason is it is necessary. It is necessary, this knowledge to know. Too many people are afraid because they don't know. They don't have the right tools. That's exactly what I had when I was sitting in the car. I was afraid. I was also afraid of the future. But I had no choice. Either I go down or I go up.
Yeah.
So that's the question. Where do you want to be at the beginning of 2021? That's why it is necessary. And second, there's an environment of like-minded people. And in this environment, it's so much easier to learn and to support. And that's why you're building also this community and helping others by doing what you're doing. So I want to say thank you very much. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. My last remark is to you as a listener. Stay curious. Stay curious. Have your eyes and minds and hearts and feelings open for the new, and help and use somebody who has been there, done it. Then shorten the way to reach your goal, because it's so much easier. Thank you very much, and stay healthy and be successful.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and rate Personal Development Mastery on Apple Podcasts, and also share this episode with someone who you think will benefit from it. If you want to become part of an exclusive community, gain access to unique content, and at the same time support this podcast, then become my patron. The link is in the show notes, or you can type bit.ly/pdmpat. If you want to know more about what I do and how I can help you, join my Facebook group Personal Development Mastery. Again, the link is in the show notes, or you can simply type bit.ly/pdmgroup. And until next time, stand out, don't fit in.